and it's about connecting people and making them engage to a purpose. We need to be not only providers of a service. Our capability of being a trusted advisor to our client base, not necessarily with the products that we sell. If we are not going to improve ourselves on a daily basis, we are not going to be relevant tomorrow.
Welcome to Mind Technology's Deep Dive. This is a podcast where we dive into the minds of event professionals to learn a little bit about their experiences, about all the challenges that they face throughout their career, and maybe help those that are coming into the industry or that are already in the industry facing these challenges get over them, okay? Today, we're with Mr. Shlomi Ashkenazi. He's the CEO of Magix and Booking Master. All right. These are companies that are dedicated on one side to helping event planners do all the accommodation and make sure that they have all the bookings in place. And Magix, well, that's a company that Mr. Shlomi will tell us a little bit about during the interview. So, Mr. Shlomi, can you tell us a little bit about your journey, how you've gotten here, and yeah.
First, thank you very much for having me. I hope that we are going to have a comprehensive discussion that will enhance the needs of events professionals, and we will be able to add a value to the entire ballgame. My journey at the event industry started something like 25 years ago, when I started as a junior sales in a leisure wholesaler company. From there, I jumped within few years to a position of VP of procurement, which was the position that I was recruited into Kenneth Group back in 2006, which was a great school for me for operations and infrastructure, how to manage conferences at the best possible way when you need to procure for 50 congresses a year globally. So it becomes a challenge, and it's a great school of professionals that you work with. During the time, I started to work as a corporate director of corporate operations, meaning that I assisted the various companies within the group, going from Brazil to Spain to UK or Germany, to work with the various subsidiaries of Kenneth Group and assist them in the full operational structure of conferences. And in some point, I came to a conclusion with Dan, the owner, that we need to deal with engagement of an individual of a conference, not only with the infrastructure of what's going on. And we established as partners a company that was called at the time eConnect, that dealt with engagement and continuous education for an individual that attended the conference. I headed that company till 2015, which we left. I left the school, let's put it like that, of operations and infrastructure of conferences, a huge supermarket, to my own grocery store, and I went into partnership with the Verus Group in Turkey, which we established Event Magix. Verus Group is in the industry since 2000. With my two partners, we established Event Magix as a global brand, which we supported events like World Energy Congress or other international medical or operational at all points. And dealing with event technology since then. And Booking Master is our latest venture, a startup, a SaaS product that is allowing events to manage their accommodation for individuals in the best possible way. Is it answering your question in a way?
Yeah, most definitely. And in itself raises some more questions. So, what was the initial vision of these companies and how has it evolved throughout time?
The initial vision is practically, it's all about people. And it's about connecting people and making them engage to a purpose. Because people get together in events in order to exchange ideas and network. And guys like me, over 45, come to events only for networking. Although that continuous education is the main important topic for each and every event, but networking is practically something that we live for, finding the right people to engage with and enhance our operational and commercial goals. And the solutions that we are dealing with are solutions that are driven from operations, meaning that we are not just a software company. We are trying to provide a value to our colleagues and partners and associations that we work with us. And we do not just provide a software, we provide service. And this is what makes us unique in a way, because the majority of the software companies out there are coming from a software background, and we are coming from operations background. We know the bottlenecks of operations when you're on the field, and we try to give solutions to those, not only just giving the technical solution, but having a project manager dedicated, an IT architect that will be dedicated for the project, that will assist that association to fulfill its goals, because you cannot do without technology anymore, because COVID showed us that we were advanced miles of years in a very short while. Event Magix in 3 months' time generated and built a full virtual environment. Within the 2 years of COVID, we hosted around 500 virtual events. And starting from brands like Checkpoint, that is the leader on cybersecurity, to Connie or any other scientific or medical societies like cardiology and etc., we try to bring our knowledge from operations to the virtual arena. So we created the roundtable discussions to open e-poster sessions on the virtual environment, the B2B matchmaking platforms that were run on the B2B platform. So we enhance to see ourselves as the ones that are trying to bring the next thing that will improve continuous education and networking for scientific and medical conferences.
All right. Well, that sounds like a really big challenge, honestly. Right now, with the fast speed, the pace of things, how everything is moving so quickly, especially with the entrance of artificial intelligence to the hands of the many. How do you manage that? How do you identify trends of different services and products that you can integrate into Event Magix, for example? How do you identify those?
Great question. I mean, currently, practically the main trend is that the scientific and medical associations tend to be individual, meaning that they are not working with a specific PCO, and they are practically building their own infrastructure in order to organize events. On that term, Event Magix today is a full SaaS platform that you can create your event, and then you allocate your staff members, and from there you can practically choose the modules that you want to use. For example, abstract submission or e-posters, that are very important modules for a scientific or a medical society. Event Magix gives them the freedom to build up everything that they require, starting from the setup up to the review process. And within a training in less than 1 hour, each and every scientific or medical society expert is capable to put those standalone. So first thing is giving them the freedom to do whatever they need in the best possible way. The second thing is practically to serve their commercial needs. For example, one of the main objectives of a scientific or a medical conference is to support one of their main important revenue streams is the exhibitors. And by creating tools like Access 360 by Event Magix, that is giving them the option that a simple QR code that is in a name badge becomes to be a V card, and each and every exhibitor with his smartphone that has the access is capable to scan the individual participant and write his remarks, and he's capable to download it to his own CRM, is a huge advantage. At the same time, we are trying to support associations or societies with the capabilities of AI. For example, we are trying to take the tools that are existing currently at the market and trying to be a consultant to the societies. I mean, I am giving talks right, left, and center in a site that was in Istanbul recently, or in ITF, Istanbul Tourism Forum, that attended, or I'm giving another talk on MPI. The idea is that we need to be not only providers of a service. Our capability of being a trusted advisor to our client base, not necessarily with the products that we sell. Meaning that taking a society that is now trying to struggle with the new AI tools, and if we are capable to take and bring all those big words down to earth and explain how they can take those tools and implement in their day-to-day work, this will bring a certain emotional benefit to the individual that is working with us, right?
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
And we are in a small industry. You don't need always to sell. If you know how to bring an additional value to the people that you're serving, they will know always to knock on your door as a trusted advisor. So we are trying, not necessarily on our toolbox and the solutions that we provide, we are also trying to be a part of the trends and try to integrate them within our solution. For example, face recognition, a very good and efficient AI tool. We are now in a process of integrating it in our batch printing solution or access control to session halls, because CME accreditation is something very important, right? And imagine that by doing several stuff, putting a QR code at the entrance of the hall, instead of putting a hostess at the entrance of the hall with a scanner. So instead of the hostess, the individual is taking our event Magix up and scanning that QR code when he enters and exits the hall. At that time, we know how to measure the duration that he sat in the room. We are saving for the society money, that instead of them allocating for each and every hall an additional hostess, they practically have to generate only a QR code and explain to their delegates that they need to download the app, and to create a very short video with Windows or any other AI tool, or with HeyGen that would translate it to 20 different languages with the same accent of the initial speaker, that will tell them, download this app, scan the QR code. This will register you to a CME accreditation, and just don't forget to scan the same QR code either in the session hall or when you exit. This way, you're practically having your certificate at the end of the Congress. I mean, associations are hungry for practical and simple stuff that will simplify their life. And AI, in a way, is in order to bring those at the best possible way. And our job as event architects or server providers for scientific or medical societies is to take those practical solutions and see how we can integrate them within our own toolbox to make their life easier.
Mm. How do you see the future of that toolbox coming together? You know, right now with once again with artificial intelligence coming in and maybe right there also integrating VR and different technologies. The glasses that you walk around and then you can see everything like immersive reality. How do you see that toolbox coming together?
I mean, event industry, I remember the first time that we introduced an event app to the industry. It was a medical conference, ESAE, if I'm not mistaken, in 2012. And at that conference, we have held several functions. We introduced an event app, and we have also had a full hybrid meeting. We had a speaker that sat in the US, and we practically at that time connected him with GoToMeeting and allowed him to give his speech to an audience of around 500 people that sat in the room. And those people took the microphone and asked him questions in real time. Imagine in 2012, when I said hybrid, people looked at me like I was practically came down from roof and they didn't understand what I'm talking about. They thought that hybrid will run away people from attendance of the conference. And look at it today, that there is the major conferences do not have an option not to have a hybrid option, meaning to allow people to join virtually. When we talked about virtual exhibition and created virtual exhibition booths in 2013, people said, if you're creating a virtual environment, the exhibitor will not invest. But now we are now in a project with a huge society, ISTT, International Society of Trackness Technologies, that have 28 affiliate societies, and now they are practically selling our gold and silver 3D booths for 365 communication of the society or of the companies with the society members. What was practically a vision at the past became to be a reality today. So the world is changing. And to tell you that I have the crystal ball that I will be able to tell you what's going on tomorrow morning, no. But on a personal level, I can tell you that I'm learning every day and try to improve what we are doing every day, because if we are not going to improve ourselves on a daily basis, we are not going to be relevant tomorrow. Because if we don't know to deliver what our clients need, someone else will. So
I completely agree with you, Shlomi. And in line with that, I try to put everything into perspective so the people at home can kind of understand the power of the technology that you bring and all these solutions. What is the potential that they have, whether it is for medical societies or for just event planners and event organizers in general. But in terms of revenue, what does it mean? What does event magic usually mean to these organizers in terms of revenue?
look, at the end of the day, any solution that you're going to bring, leave the revenue aside. At the end of the day, any solution that you bring to the table needs to serve an emotional benefit of that organization. With that, there is a commercial aspect of it. The commercial aspect of it can be a very good revenue stream, meaning that you can take any solution that you're offering, like social media wall or like access management or like gamification. And if you practically package it properly, you can offer it as a sponsored item, or you can offer it for an individual exhibitor to use it at his session hall, or you can use it as an item that can be sold during sponsored symposias. For example, a voting system or a Q&A system, and all those solutions are practically packaged today into the event app. So there are so many options that you can generate revenue from technology, but you don't need to think about it as revenue stream. You need to think about what is it going to serve my individual benefit of the participant. Because if you're not going to touch the participant himself and you're not going to create a value, it doesn't matter what you're going to bring to the table. It doesn't have a value. It needs to touch someone. It needs to create an impact. So whatever you do not create an impact with, do not suggest it to your client. Come always with what and how does it going to serve me, and what would be the benefit that you're going to get out of it. If you do not know how to explain yourself, this triangle, don't go into the ballgame.
Basically, focus on quality.
Yes.
Make sure that it is good, that it serves the experience of the participant, that it's meaningful to the participant, and then the revenue will come.
I never look at the revenue as the main aspect when I suggest something to a client. For example, there are solutions that we give them free of charge. And tell the client, look, Access 360 can give a huge value to your exhibitors. You already have the QR code on the name badge. We anyway printed the name badges for your behalf. Event Magix would like to offer, once you take this solution from us, Access 360 free of charge. If you sell it to an exhibitor, let's split the revenue. Let's add to the added value. I mean, it is the same principle that practically Booking Master goes. Booking Master is a free of charge service that is an AI driven solution. It's a full SaaS product that each and every organizer, it never mind what is the number of delegates that are attending your event, take Event Magix, take Booking Master, create your event, put your venue and the coordinates that your event is going to be held at, and the system will check by pricing that is dynamic pricing, will check the best available rate in a radius of 10 kilometers, will bring you all available hotels in real time, and allow you to get 50% of commission without the hassle of support, setup, or cost of a system. It's a free of charge system. Just use it. And that way you practically get 50% of the profit that you're generating, because the organizers today are losing around 60 to 70% of the individuals that are coming to their conference. They're not able to sell them FIT bookings because the majority of the allocation that the organizer is signing is the first circle, right? And when you come to a hotel and tell him I have a group, there are group conditions. And he signs 2 or 3 hotels or 5 hotels at the first circle. We allow them to exclude those hotels from the list, but they need to release the allocation 1 or 2 months prior to the conference back to the property, because the property doesn't want to take the risk. If they sold all the rooms, great. But a guy like me that is coming to Barcelona wants to stay at the Ramblas. I don't want to be in Diagonal Mar. It's a boring place. There is a great mall over there, but I want to be in the Ramblas. I want to be where are the best restaurants are, and I want to have either a hostel or a 6-star property. So Booking Master is allowing you to take any type of property that you like, any level of room that you like, which an organizer does not have the capability to provide. So I gave you something for free. You do not put any resources to operate it, and you get 50% of a profit just to put a widget like Google Ads to your website. So what is revenue? It's a conception. It is where you want to go and how you want to evolve yourself. And you need to go with the market and to give the market what it needs, not the best that you can.
In terms of that, back in Kenneth's group, you were in charge of human resources, right?
No, I was in charge of procurement
Oh,
at the first layer, and I had few procurers within my team, director of purchasing of various regions in the world, and I was in charge of director of operations, which I worked with various branches of Kenneth Group globally, which I traveled around and tried to learn from them and give them some of the group experience in order to improve their operational structures.
okay. So, what would be your advice for event planners when they're procuring technology, and how can they do to not get overwhelmed with all the options and all the fast pace of the things that are going on right now?
First of all, they need to define what they need, because if you do not know exactly what you need, you're not going to be able to select the right solution for yourself. And to be very honest with you, with the time, there needs to be a new identity within each and every organizer. It doesn't matter if it's a PCO or a DMC or an association. That's his responsibility is practically dealing with emotional benefits and engagement of the individual. And that person continuously needs to investigate what is out there in the market and what suits their needs. And this is why practically Event Magix and Booking Master is not providing only a solution, we provide service. We provide consultancy that will tailor-made the solution for the association themselves. So the first advice would be decide what you need and then get a professional advice how you can improve your solutions and get the best engagement of the individual and the commercial results that you're looking for. Based on that, you can choose what solution or company you would like to work with.
What would be the qualities that you would look for back in Kenneth, for example, to procure those companies? Besides them achieving the goal that you need, what other qualities?
Innovation and practically stability. Because you can have the best product in the world, but in real time, when he comes to 500 or 600 people use it starts to crash. So maybe you have the best idea in the world, but you didn't do the right stress tests and you didn't check what you're talking about. So you're out of the game. Maybe it is now history of old men like myself, but back in days, we were even taking our internet with us, meaning that in 2014, we organized ICA Congress with Kenneth Turkey in Antalya. There were 2 hotels that we needed to connect. And we brought our own switches, Aruba switches. We brought our own technicians from Kenneth Group to allocate. We practically took out all the infrastructure of the hotel and rebuild all the infrastructure in, because imagine that they needed to have a voting platform that they are going to choose their new president of ICA. Imagine that the internet would have crashed during the voting session. Would it work? No. So the controller that we brought and the load balancer and some other solutions that we set up in order to bridge between those 2 venues brought to the position that at that time the CEO or a managing director of ICA came to the stage at the end of the conference and made everyone to applaud to our team and brought all the team to the stage to tell them that this was the first time that they had flawless internet. meaning that everything worked perfectly and they were able to execute their voting session properly. I mean, this was then. Today, there are no excuses. The world is changing. And the most important thing is to make sure that you catch up this train and evolve each and every time with the new technology and the capabilities that are out there in order to make yourself up to date. Otherwise, you're out of the game before it starts.
That's so true. So true. It's adaptability is the key quality for evolution, you know? Charles Darwin was not wrong, you know, when he just said that those that survive are the ones that adapt to the circumstances and that, you know, evolve with time.
No, all right. So, my one advice is to identify exactly what you need and try to find the right partners to provide you the best, because not always the cheap is going to be the one that is going to help you, because in our world, that is the service world, you can crash big time.
Yeah.
So you need to have the position of checking exactly what you're buying and make sure that you run your own quality tests to make sure that the provider is going to provide the service is the right one that fits your needs.
Mm, do you consider yourself to be happy in what you do?
I wouldn't do what I do if I was not happy. Eh, I like what I do, and I like to be ahead of the game and learn and educate myself in a way that I will be able to serve and support the client base that I'm holding. I mean, each one of us needs to bring an additional value to the organization that he's serving. And things need to evolve with the time that will grant the solution. I mean, pandemic is the great example. At the beginning of the pandemic, I was in a Baltic Travel Group in February 28th. I want to forget that date. Baltic Travel Group is a Euromic company. It's a standalone company located in Latvia and operational in 3 countries. And they celebrated their university, a very big party. They had 25 years of existing or something. So they were my clients. So I went there. The last day, Vlad, the owner, at the lobby of the hotel said, "Look, new thing is coming. You're fired," in a pleasant way, of course. "I'm not going to be able to afford you anymore. Let's see what's happening, because the world is changing." From February till June, I tried to see what's going on with myself, tried to see buying and selling some masks from China, maybe to put a markup on it and think that this is going to be the thing. But then things evolved in those 3 months as well. I saw that there is a team of professionals, very talented people in my team that can create something new. And within 3 months, besides me trying and buying and selling masks, we created virtual Magix and had 500 events, and the rest of history. We practically served the need of that organization or the client base that we had, starting from virtual job fairs. We had at least 3 or 4 hackathons hosted within our platform. We had medical conferences, high-tech conferences, roundtables. We had even a World Zionist Congress, the 38th World Zionist Congress, held in our platform with over 6 different languages, with attendance globally. I mean, stuff that I didn't envision that I'm going to do. If you would have asked me at 28th of February, when I was with Vlad in 2019 in Baltic Travel Group's in this 27, I would have told you that you're crazy. But 3 months later, we had already this virtual environment that you're seeing behind me, and stuff that are running that I didn't envision. So the world is very dynamic. You do not know what to expect tomorrow morning. And you always need to be ready to provide to the environment that is a changing world and serve the need. Give them what they need, not the best that you can.
What keeps you up at night?
Learning. Learning and trying to investigate something new. I mean, and thinking what would be the next thing that I would like to do. I mean, I need to have something that will excite me to deliver the added value. I'm not a guy that goes to the office at 8 and goes back home at 5 and gets his salary. I need to innovate and do something that will excite me and excite people around me. I mean, call it craziness, but it needs to be in a position that will move my fingers.
You're evolving, you know? That's part of evolution, human evolution. That's
Yeah.
admirable, you know? That sense of curiosity that sometimes with time, you know, for some it fades away. For you, it has only grown. So that's admirable. That's admirable. Now, in terms of the future, what is the biggest challenge that you are facing right now to fulfill your strategic goals for the next year?
To find the right client base that I will be able to dream with. I mean, with all due respect, event technology is always back 2 to 3 years than the regular technology is going to. So to work with people that we are able to evolve and elevate their business ahead, it's always a pleasure to find the right people to communicate with. Because it's not necessarily what you do, it's who you work with. And that's all about it. I mean, this is always to look for the next challenge and next barrier to pass.
So, what would you say to inspiring entrepreneurs that are coming into the event technology industry right now? What would be your advice?
Learn and dream. Try to see what is new out there. How can you evolve and use it at your benefit? And always look at what the industry needs. Where is the blue sea? What is missing? Because don't go to what everybody is doing. What everybody is doing will bring you to a very big the Red Sea that will not bring you business results. And it will not excite you because you're going to be in your circle all day and not going to be able to grow. Look at the next thing that you will be able to make the change.
Shlomi, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Your words are wise and they land on open ears.
Thank you
I
very
hope to
much.
have you back sometime soon, and it's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much for having me.